Okay, okay. This could be a quick little YouTuber. Could be a quick little react. All right. So for those who aren't unaware, Vitaly is a content creator that has basically been in content for the past probably like 10, 15 years. I believe, from my understanding, he started with pranks. Like, he was a big prank YouTuber back in the day. We're talking like mid like 2010s, right? He was a big content creator on YouTube, and he's recently been going to other countries and just being like a general nuisance. If you guys are familiar with people like Johnny Somali, he basically has been following down his footsteps. Johnny Somali is another person who's basically been banned from a bunch of countries, constantly being thrown in prison and stuff like that. So now apparently there's new updates with Vitaly, I believe. So the last article that I read about a month ago is that Vitaly was filling 24 years in the Philippines. So he got arrested in the Philippines, and he's facing 24 years over there. He's a Russian native, apparently, but apparently there's some new news in regards to that. Let's see what it is.
Vitaly has had a big change, and we're going to talk about that right now on the Legal Mindset. We teach you.
I thought this was
to be your own
legal.
judge. Of course, I'm Andrew Esquire, American.
I got excited for a second because I like Legal Eagle way more than any of the other channels, but we'll settle with this guy.
And this is a fast facts video, a quick and dirty version of the latest news regarding nuisance streamers. In this case, Vitaly nuisance streamers, in the Philippines, but we also cover Johnny Somali and many other, let's say, interesting characters around the globe. So in the case of
there's been a lot. I think over the past probably like 5 years, it's become a really big trend. When I say 5 years, I mean sort of after COVID and after like the lockdowns were happening with like the various countries. There's been a big trend where content creators will go to other countries, just be a general nuisance and just be like sort of like a general shithead, cause a bunch of problems. It's gotten so bad, places like Japan are literally going to start enforcing a tourist tax, real voice by the way, a tourist tax where you are literally being charged more for visiting just for being a tourist. And it's because of people like Johnny Somali and Vitaly that would go to these places, be a general nuisance, be a dickhead, be a piece of shit, just going around and just doing like random shit that like pisses off locals.
Vitaly, we last left off, in case you've forgotten and gotten behind, with Vitaly begging for bail, begging to be released from jail, begging to be let out. That was denied. That was turned down.
Sucks to suck, idiot.
We had, following up along with that, news that both Russia and the United States do not want to accept him for deportation. Russia explicitly coming out and saying, do not pull a Vitaly, condemning his actions.
Imagine your country of origin and the country that you're a citizen in. Imagine them denying, like trying to help you out. You've got to be a real piece of work for that to happen.
Telling Russian citizens, Russian nationals, not to behave like Vitaly, very much strongly coming out against Vitaly. Whereas
because like these people don't realize that like when you are a citizen of countries, you are, whether you like it or not, when you go over to other countries, you are basically like a representative of that country when you go over there, and people don't realize that. Bad for diplomacy. Yeah, exactly. Like, people don't realize, like, it's a very, like, big diplomatic thing when you go over to countries. You're a citizen of a specific country. You are representing the type of, like, behavior and the type of ideology in those countries. And that's why, like, people will start to have, like, these inherent biases against, like, tourists when, like, they start coming over to the countries. It's really unfortunate.
The U.S. saying, look, simply, we're not going to take this guy. So his hope was cut
24
off.
24 cents in Filipino is rough.
But
I mean, it depends on what he did.
A big photo op as he changed custody. So a lot of people have been focusing on this, and my whole inbox has been full of photos like this. Which is a photo of before and after.
Oh my God.
On the left here, we have a photo from
they ain't feeding his ass over there.
Just brought into custody. You can obviously see he's got a lot of bulk on him. And then
what was he there illegally? Is that why they arrested him? I don't know exactly for sure why they arrested him, but I would assume it's partially because he's probably there illegally. He probably like overstayed a visa or something, because he got immigration deportee on the red, or Jesus, orange jumpsuit there.
And you've got today the fresh photo on the right, you see he's lost a lot of that bulk. He's slimmed down a lot. You can see it in the face. You can see it in other parts of the body. Now,
Yep.
look, there's no indicators that
He was
he
there
is
legally, but violated a lot of
unhealthy
laws.
or that,
Okay.
once again, he's, received any sort of bruises or beatings or anything that many of the Vitaly sympathizers have tried to say is going to go on in jail. However, yes, he has lost weight, and most people that are familiar with this think, well, if he's was on or using something that was
Tried to
performance
grab a
enhancing,
cop's
some
gun.
sort of gear,
Jesus Christ.
that might
Stole
be
a
a very
motorbike.
simple reason
All
why
right, he
he's cut
deserves it.
down that weight, because he's no longer
He deserves
got
24
access
years in
to
a foreign
whatever
country.
sort of supplements, testosterone, steroids he was taking on his own while he's in jail. He's not getting any special treatment.
It's like, okay, so when you're going to a foreign country, the last thing you want to do is break any laws, and especially break any like bad laws. Like you don't want to steal, you don't want to try to grab a cop's gun. That's just the kind of stuff you do in your own country, where you can kind of get away with stuff like that. Like I feel like in America that both of those would be like a misdemeanor. It's like a slap on a wrist. You walk out of the jail the same night.
Where he gets to get geared up in jail. Now, while I think this is an important photo, and I think this is something that people need to see, people need to.
Position Korea, the first 2 days, majority of what we talked about is how we represent the U.S. We had to read rules and sign papers that talked about the differences in ours. That's actually crazy.
Be aware
they
of.
like teach that
What
stuff.
I actually think is more important is not him slimming down, although that is something to note, but actually the change of custody. And this is very intriguing because the change of custody actually shows us that this is something that is going to go on for a long time. So he's actually now under BJMP custody. So the Bureau of Immigration, BI, on Monday said controversial Russian streamer Vitaly Zorovetsky has been transferred to the custody of the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology, BJMP. In a statement, Commissioner Joel Anthony Viado said Zorovetsky was transferred to BJMP on June 11th due to the local cases he is facing in the Philippines. He noted that the foreign vlogger will remain in BJMP.
So it looks like the BJMP is the Bureau of Jail Management and Penology. I wonder what exactly that is in the country.
Until the resolution of his court cases, after which he'll be returned back to the BI for
maximum state prison.
According
Holy
to Viedo,
shit.
Zorovetsky previously requested for temporary release through bail, but
screwed.
No such relief was granted. It's not just a matter of administrative procedure. It's about protecting the integrity of our immigration
That name sounds
laws.
so innocent. It does.
He added that
the study of the prison,
who
punishment crime, and prison management,
and violate our laws must face the consequences. The Bureau is resolute. We will not allow our deportation process to be undermined by publicity tactics or legal maneuvering. No special treatment will be given. So Vitaly said he tried to say, hey, no, I'm going to be a good boy. I'm going to behave. I totally won't run away. I totally won't flee. I'll totally be great when I leave. That was denied. He is a massive flight risk. An absolute flight risk, which is something that is a primary consideration when you're considering, hey, if you're going to let somebody on bail or not. Now, the important thing here in the transfer from the BI is we do not expect the U.S. or Russia to be coming and swooping in. They
hell no. Why would they?
This transfer if Russia or the U.S. was going to come down and was going to, perk him up and deport him and take him right away.
But why would they though? Like, I feel like Vitaly has been such national news for so long that there is such a stain on his name that nobody is going to want anything to do with him. U.S., Russia, nobody wants anything to do with this guy after he's been such a nuisance.
If that was going to happen, he would have stayed with the BI. He would have been gone. But the Philippines clearly has information, clearly is in the know, clearly has gotten the message from both the Russia and the United States that they do not want Vitaly. They're not going to accept him, and they're going to keep him in accordance with their local procedures. So he's now going to be kept in a jail where they would process local cases where they're going to deal with locals. So this is something that shows us that he will be prosecuted under Philippine law. He's not going to get special treatment as an American. He's not going to be sent to America to deal with whatever he would deal with there, which probably wouldn't be much. If he'd be deported, he probably would full justice in the Philippines. And he's also going to face the process, it seems, as it would normally proceed. So he's going to face it like a Filipino that would have broken the law, like anybody else that comes to the Philippines and breaks the law. And I think that's absolutely the right way to go. I think the Philippines once again takes a giant W.
Close your ears,
this.
Norland.
But I want to know, what do you guys think about this? And what do you think about Vitaly's weight loss? What do you think the cause is? And I'll see.
I mean, the cause is very clearly like he's not able, like they probably don't have a gym. They're probably not feeding him enough like nutritious food. He's not getting enough protein. That's all it is. Like people, I think this is like kind of like a red herring, like kind of like a moot point. But otherwise, yeah, I mean, it sucks to suck. I mean, you commit crimes in other countries that you're probably not necessarily really welcomed with like opening arms already, just because you've already got a reputation of just being a shithead. It is what it is. I think if anything, they're probably going a little bit too soft on him. Trying to steal a police's gun, stealing a motorbike, stuff like that. Like, no, you don't do that in other countries. So, I sincerely hope they throw the book at him. Keep him there. I hope they give him the full extent of the Philippines law, and we'll see what happens, because this has been an ongoing story for the past, like, I feel like 6-7 months now. But I don't know. Let me know what you guys think down in the comments below. Peace.